Welcome everybody to our annual meeting of the ACL. My name is Mark Doherty. I'm one of the board members. I'm currently co-president of the ACL, and I'm thrilled to be here tonight with everybody. As you all probably can tell, this is not going to be a typical annual meeting. 2020 has been very challenging for all of us. It's forced us to stay indoors. It's forced some of us to be out of work. It's forced kids to stay home from school. It's forced us to cancel trips or vacations we had planned. And it's forced us to be away from friends and family. But 2020 hasn't completely taken away our ability to get together with one another, thanks to the wonders of modern technology. So even though we're separated tonight by cities and by towns and by walls and by homes and by miles and miles, we're all here united together tonight through technology by a deeply human desire for us to celebrate. And that's what tonight's meeting is. It's not just an annual meeting, it's a celebration. Tonight will shine a light on this darkest of years and bring a little happiness and hopefully a smile to our faces. It's a celebration of what the ACL has accomplished. It's a celebration of where we're going to be going in the next months and years. It's a celebration tonight of those who've worked tirelessly to promote and embrace the mission of the ACL. A celebration of some new and not so new faces of folks joining the ACL board. It's a celebration of a new home here in Longmont, all wrapped up by a celebration of music by a world-class performer living in our own backyard. So tonight we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to mix a little business in with the fun tonight. We have some wonderful gift baskets to give out tonight. We'll have 3 prize drawings for those throughout the evening. Also, we're going to have an election for 6 open spots on the ACL board. We have 3 current board members up for re-election for 2nd term, with the addition of 3 other applicants, and you'll get to meet all of those applicants and candidates in the next few minutes. After the election, we're going to enjoy a mini concert, so make sure to break out your lighters or your cameras or your phones, or let's see if I can get this to work here. There we go. Or your phone acting as a lighter, so you can wave along with the music. So it'll be a real concert. It'll be fun. As we said, it's going to be a fun celebration. After the concert, Elsa, our executive director, will give us her year in review report with a fantastic video. And we'll finish up the night with the final gift basket drawing, and we'll call it a year. And then we'll see what happens in 2021. So let's kick off the evening with our first basket drawing tonight. By the way, we'll be in touch with each of the winners about how to best deliver the basket to you. So the first basket, there should be a picture coming up, is a perfect day of relaxation package, which we all need. I only wish we could give each one of you one of these baskets. And so I have here and what's more celebratory than cute little puppies? And I have here my bag, and let's see, here we go. All right, the first winner of this relaxation basket tonight is Carol Andrew. Congratulations. Now just feel that stress flowing away, Carol. And again, as I said, we will be in touch with you, and we'll make sure we get that basket delivered to you in time for you to enjoy a nice relaxing evening or day or weekend or whatever you want to use it for. So let's talk about our election. We have 6 openings on the ACL board this year. 3 of the people up for election are current board members, and they're up for, as I said, they're up for election for a 2nd term. I'm one of those folks, along with Mary Hagler and Julie McKenzie. 3 others have also tossed in their hats into the ring. They're David Burnett, Laura Tolley, and Angie Roman-Stager. David and Angie have served on the board in the past, so their names may be familiar to you. Laura is, we're so excited to have her also asking to be part of this wonderful organization. This is her first time on the board, but she brings a passion for the ACL's mission with her and a depth of experience. So we're very excited to hopefully have her as part of our upcoming board. But rather than me talking about all the folks here, let's listen to what they have to say about themselves, and let's roll film on that. Let's get to meet them. Hi folks, my name is Mark Doherty. I'm a current ACL board member, and I'm seeking a 2nd term. I moved from New England to Colorado with my wife and 2 daughters about 21 years ago, and Longmont has been our home since 2001. My family has been a home host provider to a wonderful man with Down syndrome for the past 16 years, which has been a rich and rewarding experience. I'm an assistant county attorney for Boulder County in the Human Services Division. My practice involves working with people with mental illness, developmental disabilities, and helping people with child support issues. It's very gratifying to do something that can have a positive impact on people's lives. And that's what I love about the ACL. As a board member, I see the hard work staff does every day to make sure that everyone is treated with respect, with dignity, and with the opportunities to live life to the fullest. And it's an honor to be part of a board that not only supports, but actively encourages that work. I was thrilled when the ARC store came to Longmont a couple of years ago. As avid ARC thrift store fans, my family supports the ACL mission by donating and shopping there as often as we can. I'm very excited to be seeking a 2nd term on the ACL board and to continue the ACL mission and to be a strong advocate for those with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We live in very difficult times right now, but the work of the ACL can make our lives a little easier.
My name is Mary Hagler, and I'm a candidate for the Board of Directors. I am currently serving on the board as president or co-president and have served as secretary. I participate in a couple of committees, the governance, the nominating committee, and the executive committee. I've been a member and volunteer of the ACL since the late 1980s. I still believe and support in the mission of the ACL and will continue to support the staff, members, and board and the advocacy efforts in my next term. It's been a privilege for me to be part of this organization. Thank you for your consideration.
I have worked with individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities since I started babysitting before I even came to Boulder. And I've done a variety of volunteer work and then was employed by DDC Imagine for 25 years, so it's been my career. I believe that each person has so much to offer our community and has unique strengths and talents, and that everybody should have access to our community, to education, to recreation, to a healthy life. And I'd like to see us all have parity and equity and a level playing field. And ACL does a great job of delivering that to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
My name is Angie Roman Steiger. I live in Broomfield. I have an adult son with special needs who has been receiving services from ACL since 2011. Since then, I have been a volunteer chairing outreach and nomination committees. I would love the opportunity to serve another term on the ACL board. Proud to be an ACL member, orgullosa de ser miembro de ACL. Thank you for your consideration.
Hi, my name is Laura Talley. I'm a native of Boulder and have lived in Louisville for the past 35 years. I have a husband, Bruce, and a son, Ryan, who's 27 years old. I've always been an advocate for inclusion. I look forward to serving on the ACL board. Living and working in an inclusive community is really important to me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm David Burnett, a candidate for the board. I've been blessed over the last 30 years to be a small part of the advocacy work of first the ARC in Jefferson County, ARC Thrift Stores, and now the Association for Community Living in Boulder and Broomfield counties. My wife Sally and I have been married 34 years, and I have an amazing daughter Brittany and 2 grandchildren. I always tell the story that my daughter attended her first board meeting for ARC Thrift Stores when she was a year old, in a high chair and attached to the board table. She now has had impacts upon a number of nonprofits as an adult. The change in the IDD community has been transformative because of the tremendous work of self-advocates, families, and our staff. However, there's still much to do as we continue to build inclusive communities that enhance and embrace the lives of our neighbors, friends, co-workers, and family members with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I hope to continue this work and help challenge us all as we look to the future and again show that what was once thought impossible is now the way we live every day.
Wow, I think the best part of that video was that funky music. I hope everybody's up there dancing the aisles as you were listening to us. If I had known what I was going to look like on the video, I never would have agreed to this. Fortunately, the other 5 candidates more than made up for it in their wonderful countenances. So there you have it, the six board members, candidates, and we're going to do a little tallying here. We want to make sure that every vote counts and there's no voter irregularities. And the results are coming in. And yes, it looks like all 6 candidates have taken all 50 states, or at least 1 state, Colorado, at least 1 county, 2 counties. So welcome to all the board members. I'm very excited to have Laura, a brand new face on the board. Great to work with Angie and David again. And I really look forward to continuing working with Mary and Julie. Just as an offside, I first came on the board 3 years ago. And at my first annual meeting I came to, when we were actually, remember the good old days when we could actually get together in person? The first person I met when I walked in the door was David, and he was so welcoming, and we chatted for a bit, and he made me feel like right away that I was going to be part of the board and that I was going to fit in. So I'm so excited, David, that you're back with us, and I look forward to working with you again. So the current 3 board members are Angie. Mary, Julie, and I are going to continue since we're currently on the board. And then Laura, David, and Angie will take their places on the new board starting in January. So, but yeah, you'll hear more from them in the next several months, in the next few years. So again, very excited to have them with us. Okay, time for another gift basket drawing. Let's bring up a picture here, and I got my, celebration. This is a winter snow day basket, and see the kind of the snow here and the puppy, so it's kind of cute, perfect. And this basket contains essential items for a snow day: colored pencils, adult coloring books, notepads, a $5 Target card. I wish it could be 5,000. And let's see who's going to win this one. There's some names in here. Okay. Drum roll, please. You can just think about that in your head. Drum roll. The winner of this snow day basket is Elizabeth Creech. Congratulations, Elizabeth. Now hope for some snow that'll stay. And it's Colorado. You never know. So, Elizabeth, we will reach out to you. We'll make sure you get that basket, and you'll enjoy it. And my family and I own some adult coloring books, and they're very fun. They're very fun. So, helps get the doldrums out of our system. All right now I want to turn the time over to Cinda Collins Arsenault to introduce our very special guest this evening. Cinda has been a board member. Hey, Cinda. Cinda's been a board member, and she's been on the ACL committee member for over 12 years. Is that right, Cinda? Over 12 years. And it's an honor to work with her. Cinda's the one who I spoke with when I first came on the board. She interviewed me, and yeah, we've been, in the last 3 years, I learned something new from Cinda every time we get together in our board meetings. So I'm very excited to have her here. Cinda was also instrumental in inviting our guests to join us this evening. You see what I just did there, Cinda? Instrumental, because our guest plays guitar instrumental. It's kind of funny. Huh?
No,
So
I'm here. So Mark, I think you have a new career as an MC. You are just totally rocking it tonight. You're a natural.
thanks.
And thank you for that. I have loved all of my time with the ACL, and I've actually been a member since the early 80s. So yes, I am that old. And when my daughter was first born, this was a lifesaver for me, being able to connect with other parents. And over the years, the friends that I've met have just been so wonderful. And it's great to be here with you tonight to introduce our special guest. So the other day, I was having a meal with some friends outside, of course, and socially distant. And the tables were spread out. And in between the tables were these long sheets of paper written on them with words that said kindness, community, friendship, love. And the point of it was that even though we have to be socially distant now, the space between us is not empty. It's filled with these things of kindness, community, love. And it's what connects us. And so tonight, you will hear from our guest who will fill that space between us now with all these things of kindness and friendship and community. Rebecca's songs are full of all that we care about: inclusion, respect, living a full life. She has been a nationally touring musician for 25 years. She topped the charts of the national Americana country radio stations. She's played at hundreds of festivals, house concerts, and theaters, and in places such as Opryland, Red Rocks, and even on BBC television. She also teaches vocal freedom workshops because she loves to help others find their authentic voice. The latest project that she's working on is called Sanctuary, that brings expression to the under-voiced communities. She's been working with these communities to co-create the songs and develop songs of unity, and creating an amazing album that will be released in the spring of 2021. So maybe we'll get a sneak preview tonight, but watch for that coming out. So it is my pleasure now to introduce Rebecca Folsom. Hi, Rebecca.
Hey, hi, Cinda. What a pleasure to be here. Thank you, thank you. Really, really a treat, and what a lovely introduction. Yeah, so kindness, community, unity, all of the above. Yes, yes, yes. So thank you, ACL. Really, really happy to be here in my own little gallery singing to you. And I'm going to start with the title track to the new album, Sanctuary, and a song of hope and inspiration, inciting us to loving action. So this is called Sanctuary. One voice rising in the darkness, one voice, no matter how small, one voice, each of us together becomes the one voice of us all. And one voice, one world, one choice, love, each act of love, show us how. In one world we are brothers and sisters. One world, it's really rather small. In one world, ours to care for. One world together, a sanctuary for all. One voice, one world, one choice, love, show us how we can make a sanctuary, a safe refuge, a higher ground, one people living in one world, each act of love, show us how. Every wall that we break down, every hand that reaches out, everywhere that love is found, we're building a new dream. Every garden that we tend, every broken heart we mend, every battle that we end, we're building a new dream. Ooh. Oh, every wall that we break down, every hand that reaches out, everywhere that love is found, we're building a new dream. Every garden that we tend, every broken heart we mend, every battle that we end, we're building a new dream. We can make a sanctuary, a safe refuge, a higher ground, one people, one world, each act of love, show us how. Yes, 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 a sanctuary, dispelling the myth of separation and coming together, human souls to human souls. So that's what the whole Sanctuary album is about, and ended up writing with people in homeless shelters, with people, with refugees, refugee kids and teens, and with people in prisons and the elderly, lots of undervoiced folks, and writing songs for them for this album to bring it to the mainstream. And right now that song Sanctuary is in for consideration for a Grammy, which super excited about. We'll find out on November 24th if we got nominated. So woohoo, hope so. Hope to get that song big and wide out into the world. So I'm going to do 2 more songs for you, and hope you enjoyed that. This next one is off of my last album, and this one is about being at peace and at first just facing and being and accepting what is, and then creating from there. And it actually was inspired from a poem that I wrote. I have 2 poetry books out, and one is called Your Life is a Masterpiece, and the other is called Sliver. And this one, they're on Amazon, so you can get them there if you're interested. But this poem, and then what inspired this song, is called Let Your Flaws Be. Let your flaws be the passageway to your soft heart. Let your flaws be the sharp knife that sets you free from any tight packaging. Let your flaws be the zipper, the buttons, the fraying seam you rip to loosen up. Let them be the weathered crack in the wall that lets in a sliver of light, a breath of fresh air when the doors of your heart have been locked for too long. Let your flaws be the incision on your tender skin that opens you, only to remove what has been ailing you from holding yourself together for so long. Let your flaws be the fissure that allows your deepest well of being to spring forth, quenching the thirst of true connection for yourself and everyone around you. Satiated, we sit at the table, open, undone, a few scars, a few loose edges. Are we not full of delight, relaxing here in the beauty of our natural state? Where is the passageway to your heart? What will set you free? If you're yearning for anything like this, you are just like me. Where are your fraying seams, incisions on your tender skin? Can we find an opening and let the healing in? Love as is, love as is. Let it be what it will be. Let the truth set you free. Oh, love as is. All the regrets, the mistakes you made, well, I have faltered too, trying to hide away the ugliness till we look right through. Can we love all the way, every inch, every failing, every part, unwinding all with kindness, welcoming, welcoming our open hearts. Why are the simplest things always the key? When I love it as it is, always sets me free. Oh, yeah. Oh, oh. Love as is, love as is. Let it be what it will be. Let the truth set you free. Oh, love as is. Oh, love, love as is. Love as is. Yes. All right, I've got one more song for you. What a pleasure to be here. Just an honor to be special guest. Thank you, ACL, and thank you for what you do. Fabulous, fabulous. Connecting, really bringing community together in a loving and impactful way. So this next song is a sing-along. So you're in your homes, you're in your own place, but you can sing along. And at the end, it's you just sing wonder, wonder, wonder. You can sing harmonies, you can sing gospel, whatever feels good to you. And yeah, this song I actually wrote after swimming with 30 wild dolphins in a bay all by myself in Hawaii. And I was there with a bunch of campers, and the woman who was running the camp, the dolphins came into the bay, and she said, could you go entertain them? And I was like, well, how do you entertain dolphins? You sing to them? Like, what do you do? And I ended up bringing these gold leaves, and I dropped the gold leaves for the dolphins. I got out into the bay, there was nobody there. And when I dropped the gold leaves, the dolphins were swimming in a circle below me, and they were picking up the gold leaves on their fins. And then I realized, it took me about a minute or so to realize that then they were swimming above me and dropping the leaves for me to catch. It was an astounding experience. I got in this trance of playfulness, and that's a good trance, the trance of playfulness, rather than some of the other trances going on right now. And then the campers all came, and everybody was playing with the dolphins, and I sort of climbed out on the sand, and I wrote this whole song on the beach. And this is a song about why worry when you can wonder. I always felt that the dolphins they gave it to me to give to the humans. Please take this to your human people. They need this message. So please sing along, and thank you for having me. You have dreams, what you love to do. But something holds you back from making them come true. Fear and worry about what comes your way, or you can open up your arms and smile and say, come what may. Why worry when you can wonder? Why worry when you can wonder? Sing-along parts. Wonder, oh yes, and wonder. There is magic all around you. Lighten up your heart. Spirit move, then it happens. A vibrant, living flow, and it's taken us places we can only dream to know. Come on, let's go. Why worry when you can wonder? Why hold on when you can wonder? Oh, open up your eyes and wonder. Let me hear you sing. Oh, wonder. We don't have to figure out how it's gonna be. Just lean in with a little curiosity. It's a choice we make between fear and being free. I just want to play in all the possibilities and wonder. Let me hear you earth. Wonder like angels. Thank you all so much. What a pleasure. What an absolute pleasure to be here with you tonight. And thank you, Cinda, for inviting me. And boy, enjoy.
Oh, don't stop on our behalf. Keep going. That was fantastic. That was fantastic, Rebecca. You know, this is going to be a thing now. So be prepared.
Awesome. I love it. Please. That'd be great.
Thank you so much for sharing your music, your passion, and the messages that the world needs to hear today. So very much enjoyed it. I hope you could hear or at least feel everyone else singing along with you. It was wonderful.
I could feel them. I could feel everybody. It was great. So thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Blessings to you all. Be well. Stay well.
Thank you. Thank you. The highlight of our night, folks. So now I'd like to invite Elsa Wanenkot, our executive director, to share with us the year in review. Elsa, you've been around for, I think, 17 years or so as our executive director, at least 10 years as the executive director, and 17 years with the ACL. Is that right?
That's right. And a few more years on Earth.
So you've seen a few things. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No.
With the ACL?
No, I haven't seen anything like this before. I think this is unique, and I think you know that it's unique challenges, and it's the greatest learning experience of my life.
Yeah. We adapt as humans, and tonight's celebration is testament to that we're not going to let a virus keep us from getting together and celebrating and having a good time. So Elsa, why don't you, I'm going to turn the time over to you. You can give us a year in review. I think you have a wonderful video to share with us also. And just a reminder that after Elsa's done, we'll have one more drawing, so don't leave. You might be the lucky recipient. And Elsa will handle that. Elsa, I'd love to give you this bag here, but oh yeah, you got the hat. Wonderful. Okay. And then we'll wrap things up. So Elsa, the floor is yours.
Welcome everybody, and thank you so much for being here. I'm really glad that the parking was easier this year. I think it was a bit difficult last year. Anyway, it's hard to know where to start when I think about 2020. Sometimes I have plenty to say, and sometimes I feel just really silenced by it. But luckily, we've got some great videos for you just in case. Here's what I remember about 2020. The world changed on a single day in March. And the first weeks of the pandemic reminded me of the World War II stories told by elders in my family. Stories of incredible loss woven into a tightening sense of community. Rationed grocery items and a lack of toilet paper that gave new meaning to what really mattered in life. Hope found in the signs of spring all around us and the promise of a vaccine. 2020 had themes, and 3 themes came out of one of the online parent groups: silver linings, difficult moments, and ideas for the new world. And I'm going to start with the silver lining. In March, we started the remodel on ACL's new home at 624 Kaufman Street in Longmont. And there are so many people to thank for this, so excuse me if I miss anybody. The ACL staff and board, past and present, who dreamed up this amazing place. Danny Lindow and the Colorado group for helping us find our new home and for a generous donation towards the remodel. Peter Stewart, the architect who turned our eyes. Ben Greer and his team who turned the plans into reality. And to everyone who stuck with what became a much longer process than expected because of the pandemic. Although we're not able to be together and celebrate at 624 this evening as we hoped, you still get to visit the new digs. So welcome to the new ACL. This is a video with just music in the background, no words. Please show the 624 renovation video, Melinda. What a wonderful place, and what an incredible process to watch and to be a part of. And in fact, it's been the culmination of my entire time as executive director has been trying to make this happen. So it's quite amazing to see it. And our dream for 624 is that it become a gathering place, a place of learning, and a safe place in the community where everybody belongs. For now, we're going to use some office space and storage space, but 624 will hold on to our dreams for the future. It's finished. I take possession of it tomorrow at noon if anybody else wants to be there. And it's going to be wonderful, and it's useful to us now. Some of the other silver linings of this year also are kind of mixed up with difficult moments, like the shift the ACL team made in order to provide advocacy remotely. The silver lining is that despite this, they've been able to protect people from discrimination and create space for people to speak their minds, bring people together and support people to set course and navigate their path in life. Team members dedicated part of their homes to office space, learned new technology, taught the people they serve to use technology, found new ways to do almost everything, and perhaps hardest of all, took the loss of never physically being together. Our team motto is everything we do is advocacy, and this team brings incredible experience, knowledge, skills, and character to their work and to the ACL mission. For 8 months, they've done this isolated from each other and from the community about which they care so much. Let's show the slide with the names of all this amazing team. Thank you so much to the ACL team. I can hear the round of applause. I know that I can feel it, like Rebecca could feel her music. I also want to talk about the ACL Board. The board also went remote back in March and conducted a huge amount of work regardless. Thank you for setting the direction. It's so much easier to steer a steady course in stormy seas with such dedicated and accomplished captains. Thanks to the incredible work of the ACL Board and our partners at ARC Thrift Store, which provides most of our funding, ACL is financially stable. We responded wisely to the situation, implementing a remote work plan early to protect our most precious resource, which is people. We applied for and received COVID relief funds, and while we have adjusted our budget, the ACL stepping into 2021 strong in terms of people and programs and finances, and our mission is more alive than ever. Let's show the names of the ACL board members, Melinda. Thank you. Thank you so much to the ACL Board of 2020. And there were other silver linings. Silver linings also came in the form of new programs created through partnerships with Boulder County, Imagine, and the Center for People with Disabilities. These programs use Boulder County DD mill levy funds to provide emergency aid, housing assistance, and multi-agency crisis support for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families. Our group advocacy training also went remote, and the first online Safety First class was held. Self-advocates becoming empowered, otherwise known as SABE or SABE, and parent network groups went remote, and new groups for parents and self-advocates started. Now everyone was on Zoom. But difficult moments came when we realized that not everybody was on Zoom. Even 8 months later, many people with IDD and their family members have not been able to bridge the digital divide and still cannot access essential services online like telehealth and education, never mind find human connection and fun in this new virtual world. The pandemic has led to many difficult moments for parents of school-aged children, whether their kids are learning in school or at home. There are no easy solutions, and the challenges public schools and the children and families who rely on them face. But it helps to know the facts and have an ACL advocate help you figure out what they mean for you and your child. Families with adult sons and daughters are having difficult moments too. So far, the families we know have either avoided or survived COVID, despite added risk factors, but many have become more isolated. Advocates can amplify the voices of isolated people so they can be heard across this digital divide, and eventually more and more people will bridge the divide with technology, as long as we realize how important it is that this happen. The kind of change in our lives isn't easy, and we can't turn back the clock, but we have some ideas for the new world that have emerged. And prompt just to stay with us, we are heading for our main feature video and our last prize draw coming very soon. But here are some ideas for the new world. In a new world, we have to invest in technology solutions and think of technology access as a human right. Our partners in the tech field are working on solutions while the ACL is advocating for the right to access them. We need technology solutions now and for the future, because that way we can create and maintain community, which COVID cannot take away from us. It would also help to find some new service models and strategies for educating children with developmental disabilities and providing adult services that really make a difference in people's lives, despite pandemic restrictions. The solution cannot be to do nothing or to wait for the pandemic to be over, or let people quit jobs and risk losing their homes in order to care for their loved ones. We advocated for family medical leave in Colorado to address the needs of families, and Amendment B to prevent cuts and provide funding that's desperately needed by human service agencies and school systems. We advocated for protections against discrimination in the darkest days early in COVID, when people with IDD were being discriminated against in the hospital triage process, which left them waiting in the ER room. People with IDD may be 3 times more likely to die from COVID, but it would be tragic to assume that this is because they have an IDD. This is a human rights issue, and it's about access to healthcare. We will continue to advocate for people to have access to treatment, and when a safe and effective vaccine becomes available, we'll advocate for people with IDD, their families, and the professionals who serve them to be a priority. We need to expand our concept of mission. We need to include the many different ways people with IDD may be marginalized, and learn to think about it in the context of many other unique and diverse human qualities, things like gender and race. We are beginning to imagine a future where all people can fully express who they are in the world, and we have made progress towards a more inclusive world. But we still have a human rights crisis in our community, and COVID has shown us our dark corners. For example, our jail population includes a disproportionate number of people with IDD, especially people of color, and we must work to correct things now so that people can escape the pipeline to prison, which starts in our kindergarten classrooms. We're working on this and have partnerships with public schools and the justice system that are really showing results and better outcomes for people. It seems like we must also learn to live life a little differently and find mental and physical well-being in new ways and safety in new habits. The ACL has a number of online groups that meet regularly for support. We talk about system navigation tips and ideas for the new world and life hacks. We have a giggle. We play games sometimes. And you get the kind of expertise that can only come from people whose lived experience feels familiar. Check our calendar for more information and let us know what you need, because we can adjust as we go. And finally, we must care for the natural world, but not as its owner or custodian, more like a humble student of its wisdom. COVID shows us what happens when we have a smaller footprint on the world. Our air is cleaner, and some people saw blue sky and stars for the first time. Obviously, we cannot grind to a halt like we did in March, but we must accept that as a result of our actions, we are now entirely responsible for the survival of our species and the trillions of other beings that inhabit and keep the earth whole and healthy and so beautiful. It's important to us because people with IDD may be disproportionately impacted by climate change because of systemic oppression. So we can no longer separate the fate of people from climate change. I'm relieved to announce that the ACL did not print a single piece of paper or drive a single mile for this event. And we usually have a lot of paper and a lot of driving around. It's a small start, but thank you for being part of the first paperless and virtual ACL Annual Celebration, and thank you to Boulder County Communications for helping us pull it off. We must ask what small things we can do for the natural world so that every spring we're filled with renewed hope, just as we were this year, despite our uncertainty about the future. Nature just keeps going, and so must we. So we're heading into winter, and the natural world is wise about this too. It's keep watching nature and watch natural creatures lining their nest, keeping those that they love close to them and warm, replenishing and conserving resources. And for us, that means thinking of everything from toilet paper to activities to sustain us during cold days. Adjust your expectations of yourself and others, and remember that we're all doing the best that we can. Be gentle, and when needed, be fierce, because we can't afford to lose this one. Wear a mask and follow health department recommendations so we can start to contain the virus. See if you can find community online and the technology skills you need to be part of it. Most social creatures do not do winter alone. Contact the ACL if you need advocacy or help finding community, resources, protective equipment, technology, or a better understanding of your rights and the systems upon which you rely. COVID's greatest lesson for me is that our fates as individuals are bound to each other and to our natural world. And we share a common future, and nobody wins unless everybody wins. Next up is a wonderful video created by one of the ACL team members, which shows how ordinary people like all of us, even under extreme circumstances, can do some extraordinary things. Let's watch Shirley's story, and if they're useful to you, please see the YouTube chat. Let's roll the video, Melinda.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I'm working from home. I'm Shirley. Shirley not. They've asked me to tell you a story about this year. Oh boy. I'll see what I can do, but it sure was a doozy. Well, let's get this show on the road. We started the year off with a bang. We moved out of our office. It sure was a lot of work. And cleaning. We had a lot of stuff. Our new building wasn't ready yet, but we were pretty excited, so we moved in anyway. Until the demolition. So we moved into a temporary office. It was great. We thought, smooth sailing from here. We were home free. No bumps in our road. Clear skies ahead. And then the coronavirus came. There was so much confusion. Like everyone, we didn't know if it was safe to be together. So we decided to close the office. And for a while it felt like radio silence. For a while it was a blackout. And then we found ourselves here. Zoom. No. It wasn't all bad. We got to meet people's families, see their dogs and their kids, and we talked a lot. We talked about gardening and cooking and toilet paper. We talked a lot about toilet paper. And then things got real. People started to get sick and even die. People with disability feared losing medical care because of crisis rationing. People lost services, they lost their jobs, they couldn't pay their rent. Worst of all, people with disabilities became even more isolated and alone. And all the while, we were providing advocacy. Even when our funding got cut, the advocacy never quit. We got busy. We mailed "How are you doing" cards. Do you want one? We held new Zoom groups for parents and self-advocates. Join us. We even held a virtual Safety First with Boulder Police Department. We delivered masks across 2 counties to anyone who needed one. Do you need one? And when the threat of medical rationing came, we advocated and taught people about their rights. Then election season, oh boy. We helped register people to vote, get counted, and promoted local ballot measures. And we won, all 3. In this last year, our reality was transformed. We discovered what we fear, but also what we cherish. We learned what we're capable of together. So, what's next? We don't know. But what we do know is that we will be here with you together.
Wow. Every year I'm wowed by the video. I'll give you a moment just to absorb that. Well, we've got one more thing to do before we say goodnight. We have one more gift basket to give away. So let's see what's in this gift basket. Oh, cup of tea. That must be why I get to give away this gift basket. So assortment of teas, pot holder, frame picture, couple of mugs, some sugar and creamer, and a bottle of wine. That's above and beyond the team. Okay, let's see who the winner is. And the winner is Colleen Barman. Colleen, we will figure out how to get your gift basket to you and get that to you as soon as possible. Congratulations. Well, that wraps up the show for this evening. I want to thank everybody who was brave enough to perform on their first live stream event, which I bet the only person that isn't in that group is Rebecca, who was incredible. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm a fan, and I will continue to watch your work and find sanctuary in it. So thank you, everybody. I hope that you've had an hour of learning about what we're doing at the ACL and watching some really neat videos. And my sincere hope is the next time we gather together that we will be at 624 Kaufman Street, Longmont, 80501. Yay! Thank you and good night everywhere. Everyone, please take care and stay in touch.